cactus and succulent growers, I'm Lynn and welcome to Desert Plants of Avalon in the north of Ireland. And in today's video I'm going to be talking about and showing you watering my cacti for the very last time this year before the winter. And I do make videos about this sort of every year at this time of year, sort of like towards the third week in September, when I give all the cacti their last water of the year. And I talk a little bit about, the types of cacti I do still keep watered during the winter, and also the succulents as well. Now, this is a lot of the cacti on here, and I'm going to be very busy the next couple of weeks because I'm going to be taking a lot of these plants off, and then I've got another little plant stand that I'm going to be putting a lot of these smaller ones onto, and it's going to give me more space to put some of the larger cacti, so give them more space for a nice arrangement for the winter time. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I give them their last watering. So the tables are all dry and the plants are all dry. So I'm not going to be making any mess. And I'm often being asked, Lynn, when do you stop watering your cacti for winter time? And it does depend on where you live in the world as well. Now, I'm in Ireland, I'm in the north of Ireland, and the climate here is it's not cold in the winter. We don't get a lot of frost and rarely get snow, but our problem is it's the dampness. We get a lot of rain and the humidity. So I like to stop watering my cacti usually the second week, the third week of September. My larger cacti, such as the ones in the very large pots, some of these over here I actually did stop watering a couple of weeks ago because they're in big pots. So that's why I stopped watering these. They take longer to dry out. But all of the sort of average size cacti like these, I give them their last watering to sort of the third week of September. Again, it can depend on the temperatures. At the moment, we're actually having a really warm, believe it or not, Indian summer, like with 22 Celsius temperatures today. It's been absolutely gorgeous and a good few days forecast. So good opportunity for me to give them their last watering. And then they'll have plenty of time to dry out then before the real cold arrives. And I just want to mention as well the plants that I do still keep watered, or the cacti and the succulents I do still keep watered over the winter months. And these are sort of my epiphytic cacti, the Ripsalis varieties, and also my epiphyllum cacti there. I do keep them mostly dry over the winter because they do store water, and with the cold temperatures as well, they don't need to be watered regularly like they do in spring and summer. But I would just give them a light watering about once a month, just enough to wet the soil to stop them from shriveling out. And that's because they're epiphytic cacti, some more epiphyllums there, and they're rainforest cacti, so they need sort of a bit of a light regular watering. Also my succulents as well, I've got many sort of echeverias that I do practically stop watering, but I do have to give a wee bit of water to, maybe every 6 weeks in the winter, just to stop them from shriveling too much as well. So that's what I do still water. Also the aloes as well. I've got some of the sort of gasterias and some of the aloes that can go a little bit shriveled. And I find as well in the winter they do tend to take on a bit of a growth spurt as well, because they're all from South Africa and they often flower for me during the winter, so I will still water them very lightly. But all the cacti, all the desert cacti, I keep totally dry. I also have many cacti I have to bring back into the house for the winter because they're not cold hardy. Now I keep my polytunnel at a minimum temperature of around 5 Celsius, which is around 41 degrees Fahrenheit for those of you who have Fahrenheit. And ideally, in an ideal situation, I would keep them around 7 Celsius, about 47 to 48 Fahrenheit. But there's a big, massive difference in the cost when it comes to heating between 5C and 7C. And also I find in my experience that as long as the plants are totally dry, and by dry I mean dry in their soil on the roots, I find they do absolutely fine at 5 Celsius. So that's if you're new to growing cacti and you have a greenhouse or polytunnel and you want to know, do I have to heat the polytunnel or greenhouse? Well, yes, I would have a heater that would keep it at a minimum of 5C. I have one by It's actually it's a Phoenix heater, and it is absolutely brilliant because it's on a thermostat, so it's not on all the time, otherwise it would cost an arm and a leg. But it just comes on as and when needed, when the temperature drops to 5C or below. As soon as it reaches 5C, it cuts off and then it drops. But I've made many videos about that, and if you want more information on how I heat the polytunnel, then do check out a video out on how I heat the polytunnel, including more information on that heater. So I'll link that video up above. I've also made a video a bit more in depth on when I stop watering my cacti as well, so do check that one out after this one too, and I'll also link that one up above. So then I'm going to show you a few examples of watering the plants in this video, but I'm not going to show you the whole watering the whole collection because it'd be a very long video. I just want to go over here and show you the ones I did water a couple of weeks ago and stopped watering. Now I'm going to be watering this one again because it's quite small, and all of these I'm going to be watering obviously, and the succulents I'm going to be giving a very deep watering, and these other ones I'm going to be watering this one as well, but the rest of them I'm not going to water them because they're in quite big pots and they've had a good water as well, so they'll be absolutely fine now until the winter. So I should have done this video a couple of weeks ago mentioning all that about large cacti in large pots to stop watering, but I've been very busy, so I've only really had chance. But all of these other average size ones going to have a good watering today for the last time. And I often asked if I feed my cacti with their last watering. Well, I don't. Some people do, they give them a little bit of light fertiliser, but I've just got a bucket here filled with just plain water. And ideally, if you've got clean rainwater, cacti love that. But I'm lucky enough here in the north of Ireland where our water is very sort of, it's an average pH, it's about 6.5, which is ideal for cacti. And I just let it sit in a bucket for a couple of days to let all the chlorine dissipate, and this is ideal. But I haven't added any fertiliser this time because, as I mentioned, the cacti coming to the end of their growing season now, and fertilising them could give them a little bit of could stress them, I think, anyway. They don't need it, so just going to give them their last watering. So this is all I've got to do. And the ones I'm going to be bringing in for the winter, I always do videos when I bring the not cold hardy plants in for the winter, so you'll see plenty of videos like that probably from the middle of October to the end of October when I start bringing them in, such as my Albermania here. That's not a cold hardy one, that has to come in. I've got a Sawaru gigantea. That one is sort of cold hardy when it gets large enough, but it's still quite young, so 10 years old, grown from seed. So that is one that's going to be coming into my grow room, as a few of my others as well. Also these awesome beautiful gymnos that Daz and Edie from Cacti Mania gave me. Although gymnos are hardy, it's my first year with these, and Daz has grown them in his conditions indoors, so I'm going to be bringing these indoors as well to be on the safe side for the winter. But I'm going to give them their bit of a light watering now, and I'm not probably going to stop totally watering these maybe for the next couple of weeks or so, because they are all coming into bud, as you can see. So plenty of buds on these, and the Mahena Vinci variegata and the root beer has been blooming magnificent for the past few weeks, and there were more buds coming, so these are very actively growing. Also buds as well on the Gymno Friedrichi as well, and the Aquadulces, they've got buds. So Daz, your plants are doing amazing. So then I spoke a little bit about the water, and then I'm going to show you me watering a few of the cacti. And as I mentioned, I like to give them a good watering, but not a very deep watering, because I want them to dry out quick now, and they're coming to the end of their growing season. You can clearly see that they're slowing down, and I really do hate the thought of the winter, guys. Anyway, enough of my waffle, let's get watering. Now that's me finished, all watered, and they should all be prepped then for the upcoming winter, so they'll have plenty of time to dry out. I've also given all the opuntias a really good watering because they were very dry, and some of the opuntias are not cold hardy, such as some of the ones I've got from the Galapagos Islands, so they're going to be coming in probably in the middle to the end of October into the grow room to overwinter as they need more winter warmth. And also this one, such as the Opuntia Cobra, also needs to come indoors. So there's going to be plenty of videos when I'm doing all that, and do stay tuned for videos as well when I'm going to be rearranging some of the plants and going through them all, because what I like to do as well to prepare them for the winter is I like to go through every single plant, and I mean everyone, guys, and I have a lot of plants. Pick each one up and turn it around, check there's no signs of mealybugs. If I see any, I treat straight away with the rubbing alcohol. And then once that's done, then I also like to dust all of the trays and every single plant with a sprinkling of diatomaceous earth, and that's because that helps to keep mealies away as much as possible during the winter, when I probably wouldn't be coming in as often as I would during the summer. But also as well, I have a lot of cacti I was going to repot this summer, but time got away me because I have been very busy and I've been working away a lot of the time over the summer, so I really haven't had time. So some of the plants as well I may still be repotting. Certainly I'll be fine to repot a lot of them into the October if I make sure they're dry and I pot them up into dry soil. But they've all been watered, so happy days. And that's it then, all prepared for the winter. So stay tuned for videos coming up when these have dried in a few days time. As I say, I'm going to be showing you what I do to prepare them for the winter, as well as in preparing them against the bugs. And I always then like to come in over the winter every couple of days or so to check and keep an eye on them for pests and things like that as well. Wow, so that's me all watered. Didn't take as long today because I just give a quick watering. I just want to mention as well, I always like to prefer to water towards the end of the day as well. It's actually going a little bit dark at the moment. It's nearly 8 o'clock and the nights are drawing in now, and the reason for that is obviously if I was to water them during the day, if the sun comes out, they can get hot in their pots, and also plants, cacti as well, are more receptive to take up water during the evening times. I find it makes a difference. So the last watering for a lot of these, except for the epiphytic cacti and obviously some of the succulents as well. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and if you stopped watering your cacti already, do let me know in the comments down below. Or if you live lucky enough to live in the southern hemisphere, then you'll be approaching probably into the spring now for you guys, and already up with your watering schedule. Lucky you guys. And just look at that, it's my Euphorbia medusa, my Euphorbia flanagani, and it is blooming absolutely stunning now. Lots of gorgeous little yellow flowers, and also my other lovely Euphorbia here. Lots of little blooms. As I say, a lot of my Euphorbias seem to come awake at this time of year, so I do a lot of my Gasterias, Haworthias and Aloes. And do stay tuned for a full Gasteria and an Agave and Haworthia update video. I've got them on the other side of the polytunnel, and I'm going to show you a whole tour of them coming very soon. If you haven't done already, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell, and do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. I want to wish you all a fantastic cactus and succulent plant powered day.